Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day episode number 24 for Friday, September the 5th, 2008. Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, the daily video blog where I review movies 7 days a week. My name is Leland Brunger and thank you very much for joining me. I realized that I had not reviewed an animated film yet, and so I'm going to talk about one of my all-time favorites, which is Spirited Away, which is a Japanese film from director Hayao Miyazaki. Hayao Miyazaki is an incredible director, and if you're not familiar with his work, you're very lucky that you get to experience it for the first time. He's directed a number of really classic films. Some of my favorites are Princess Mononoke, Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind, and Kiki's Delivery Service is another one of my very favorite ones. He has a new movie called Ponyo on a Cliff, which is just released in Japan, and I am so excited for it to come out here in the States because I've loved just about every single one of his films. Like I said, this movie is directed by Hayao Miyazaki. On the DVD, though, there is an American dub, and I actually do recommend watching it because it is actually very, very good. This features the voices of Suzanne Pleshette, Jason Marsden, who you probably know from Boy Meets World, Step by Step. He's done a lot of voice acting since then. Lauren Holly, John Ratzenberger, who you probably know from Cheers, and he's in I believe he's in every single Pixar film. He plays a voice in every single one of them. And Michael Chiklis also has a very small role in the beginning. Michael Chiklis from The Shield. This is a little bit different, but it's great nonetheless. This story is about a young girl named Chihiro who is moving to a new town with her family, and she is very apathetic and kind of whiny about this. On their way to their new house, they stop off and they find this strange tunnel. They go through the tunnel and they're kind of in this small village that there's no one there. However, there's all this food made up at a stand and the parents decide to sit down and they start eating. The young girl Chihiro becomes very scared, saying that they're going to get in trouble. The parents don't care. They keep eating and eating and eating. And the parents actually eventually turn into pigs. And Chihiro starts running back to the car and she realizes that a river has grown between her and the tunnel and she can't get back. And she becomes stuck in the spirit world, and spirits are everywhere. There are these strange creatures, and she becomes helped by a young man named Haku, who rides this long dragon, and he sets her up with work in a bathhouse, working for a man named Kamaji, and Kamaji's a character who has 6 arms, and he's always working with spices and coals to try to make all these different bath waters. Also, the bathhouse is owned by an evil witch named Yubaba, who steals her name and says that she can never go back, and Chihiro must overcome all of this and try to get home again and find her parents. This film is anime, and I don't want that to scare people off. A lot of people do not like anime, and I don't think that's fair because I think people who don't like anime really haven't seen that much. And you shouldn't be afraid of anime, especially this film, because it's fantastic. I hold this film and I hold this story in the same regards that I hold stories like The Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland. This film is truly a classic, in my opinion. You know, I love really fantastic stories like this where characters are kind of thrust into something bigger than themselves and they kind of have to work their way out. You know, this film just looks amazing. Hayao Miyazaki is an incredible director, and he has this way and an ability to tell really elegant and classic stories in such a fantastic way that no people working in animation in America are doing, besides Brad Bird, who did Ratatouille and The Incredibles. I don't think anyone's working on the same level as him. It's almost unfair to compare. The main character, Chihiro, in this story, she starts out very whiny and not very likable, but over the course of this film she grows and you like her more and more and you want to see her succeed, and by the end of this movie you completely feel for her. I buy into this movie every single time and it kills me every single time. There's this sort of love story between Chihiro and Haku, who's the boy who helps her. It's kind of a love story, but it's not. It's told in such a sweet and innocent way. And the climax of their relationship, which is them falling to the earth, is really stunning. It's one of my favorite moments in any film, and it's so beautiful how they're connected together because they realize they've known each other pretty much all their lives, and it's amazing. The score by Joe Hisaishi, I don't know how to pronounce it, is incredible. I mentioned one time that my favorite composer is, one of my favorite composers is the guy who did Lost and the Speed Racer soundtrack. I can't remember his name. Michael Giacchino. But Joe Hisaishi has done all of Miyazaki's scores, and they're all phenomenal. This is probably my favorite score besides the score for Kiki's Delivery Service, which is my absolute favorite. This is the kind of film that I'm going to introduce to my children someday, and it's because this film is timeless. It's truly a classic. I think this is one of the greatest animated films ever made. I think it's a beautiful story. I give it a 5 out of 5. If you haven't seen this film, do yourself a favor and see it. If you don't know who Hayao Miyazaki is, please see them all. He's an amazing director. If you guys are enjoying my reviews, make sure and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.